said earlier you want to have a chat about Anthony. What are we saying about Anthony? He scored again today. But what are we saying about Anthony?
I'll let you go first.
I don't know. Break Anthony down for me, Terry. Tell me what Anthony. Break his game down for me. What do you like about
today's game, or just in general?
Anthony, not today's game. I don't think he was any different today than any other day. Do you?
I call him Zoolander. You know, Zoolander couldn't turn left. This guy can't go right. This guy, it's like this guy gets.
Do you know what Dom said?
And he doesn't want to go down that right hand side. Like there were times where he's beating his man. It's like, right now, run, drive, and he stops. It's because he doesn't want to use that right foot. So I'm calling him Zoolander from now on. Like, I need this guy to start driving at people, because if he did that, legitimately, he'd be a top player, because he's got everything, but he doesn't have the confidence to go on the outside.
Yeah.
So my breakdown of him, because I get in an argument with one of my friends who's a City fan who hates him and just goes off on him. I think he's got pace. He's tenacious. He's great at tracking back. So those are the things that Ten Hag obviously really wanted in the team, that kind of personality. He can be creative at times, like when he those back passes, he sees things and his first touch is really nice. But as you said, his biggest gap for me is he plays on the inside the whole time, because that's his favorite foot. Even defending, he defends on the inside because his favorite foot is on the inside versus being out wide, which is why we got him, because we wanted to stretch the pitch, right? He got his goal today. Like, he got his goal today. People were saying he's slow. He's not slow, not at all. Yeah. But he got his goal today because he was in the right spot and because he wasn't out of place and he was attacking. And that's what he does, right? What we do need is him to add more of a danger. He's got to be more, like, think about Garnacho. Garnacho comes on and you're just like, all right, kid, like, I know you're just going to attack people. You're going to put them on task.
He's special though, Cam.
He is special. Anthony's not that, but he's only 21, right? He is.
But Anthony's still young. I think he needs to bang gym. And when I say that, I mean in his legs, because his passing is short, It's oddly short.
Yeah. He doesn't
his shots are oddly weak. Like they can curve nicely, but they don't have any pace or whip on them. And the pace thing, he's got great acceleration for the first couple of yards. As soon as you start going 50, 60 yards, it's like, yeah, someone will catch up to him. And I think because he knows that, he's like, I don't have a right foot. I don't have like blistering pace on long distance. I'm not going to go on the outside because I will get found out. And it's just like, bruv, that's what we that we need to do. And this team right now is crying out for Jadon Sancho to come back. I don't know what's up with him mentally, physically, emotionally, but I hope this program that is on with Ten Hag works, because we need him back. Because so many times today, the play broke up because my man didn't want to use the right foot.
Anthony,
and it's like I'm sick. I like the kid. I believe he can become something good at Man United. Ten Hag obviously picked him for a reason, so I want to trust that. But we need to actually have a right winger who's willing to take on a man and make the right decision. Right now, he's not doing that, unfortunately. But I believe he can. I believe he can.
It's the basics for me. It's the basics. So I hear the argument of getting another right back in, or Dallo offering a little bit more down the outside. I hear the argument of a striker. I hear the argument of players helping them out a little bit more. I get that, but that scenario doesn't really change when you're facing up a player, and that defender knows you're going to cut in on your left. It's not going to be long before every defender or every player in the league is going to know exactly what Anthony wants to do with the football, and he'll just be taken out of the game. We'll be playing with 10 men.
They already know, Indiana. They already know. That's the issue.
Yeah, they do know, and that's where he just needs. And the thing is, this is what I'd say about Anthony. People are calling him a flop already. Listen, the guy's got 4 goals so far in his first season. That's all right. I'm not being disappointed. He also, let's really dig down deep on this. Defensively, he always does a good job. Always comes back and helps his fullback. He's good in the general build-up play. His overall performance, the basics, is a 6 out of 10. I'll give him a 6 just for what he does everywhere else. He's getting like 7s when he's scoring them goals. But I just want to see you drive at your opponents a little bit more and be a bit more confident. I think he has the pace to burn a lot of people. Now it's mad because he did it in the second half in our own half. He put the afterburners on and got past. I can't remember the guy's name at the left back. Is it Limachenko? Something like that. And you know him.
Yeah.
And he dragged him down, and the guy got booked. And I'm like, so if you've got the confidence to try and run past him there, do that at the other fucking end. But it's because of that right foot. And there's a famous scene in Rocky 2. Now, you kids probably haven't watched Rocky. If you haven't yet, you've got to culturally go and experience it. But there's a scene where Rocky's made to do 1,000 jabs with his weak arm, with his left arm. I remember speaking to my fighting coach, like, does that work? He said, well, what's your weak leg? He made me do 1,000 kicks on the trot with my weak leg.
And then for 1,000 spins
for 3 weeks. For 3 weeks, I could only use my weak leg in training. It does two things to you in martial arts anyway. It made my weak leg better, but it made my strong leg better without even using it. It was kind of weird, right? So I'm sure they're doing this already. Like Ten Hag doesn't need a dickhead like me telling him what to do, but they've got to get him more confident on that right. I don't think in the modern day game when you're playing inverted. In the old days, sorry, let me just finish. When you played where Giggs did, Giggs wasn't that great on his right. But when you played on the left with a left foot, you didn't need to use your right foot as much because you could go on the outside. If you're on the right, cutting in is great, but you've got to be able to go on the outside. And that's why Rashford's doing better this year, because he's going on the outside just as much as he's going on the inside.
Two left-footed assists to that. I know everyone's no goal, but two left-footed assists to that.
And it's why Garnacho's so dangerous, because he goes in and out. And when you go in and out and you shake it all about, you make the defenders do the okey cokey. Do you know what I mean? It's
sorry, before you go, you know what's funny about Anthony and his right foot and Ten Hag? Ten Hag even said, I've been telling him to work on his right foot, and I don't know why he doesn't. Like, it's just him, like, literally up here. He's like, no, I'm just not gonna do it.
He needs a full season, I think, in the Prem, learning that. Listen, in the Eredivisie, he could do that. He could take it didn't matter. He was just better than the guys. He didn't have to practice that. And like what Terry said, there is a very true fact. Like when I boxed, I injured my left shoulder, so I had to switch to southpaw, which means I had to lead with my right, and I got stronger with a right jab. It's just like you have to just do it over and over and over. And I don't think he has the confidence to do it in games yet. And I think with the speed, and like we've said, everybody in the Prem already knows what he's going to do. Give him a full season of like, there should be a moment that we see by the end of the season or next year that you start seeing him at least trying to use his right foot, because he doesn't even try.
He uses the outside of his left. He'd rather hit a weak pass with the outside of his left than his right. But when it comes to football, it's different. So it's not about how strong you can kick the ball, how you can kick the ball. It's about how you stand. It's about your standing leg. So when it comes to, like, you know, he does that kind of, tries to hold the player off, shifts to the right, flicks it with the outside of his left foot to pass a 5-yard pass. That's something he's not going to be confident or comfortable with his right foot right now, and that's a problem.
Yeah, and he's got to work on it. But I'm not willing to write him off. I want to use Cristiano Ronaldo as an example. Now I know he's better and he was younger, but his first season at Man United, 6 goals and 8 assists in all competitions as an example. You go into, and there's a reason I'm using him as an example. Going to his second season, and it was 9 goals, 9 assists in all competitions. And remember, it's pretty good Man United team. His third season at the club was better, 12 and 8. But this, people don't remember that Ronaldo was called a one-trick pony by most of the media and most of the pundits. He was called out by Roy Keane. That's why Roy Keane got sacked by Man United for basically saying never going to be of the level. And he kept on working. The biggest reason I've got faith in Anthony is because I have faith in Erik ten Hag. And I think he's working on these things that we want him to get better at. And it's just going to take time for it to come to fruition. And the world, because of social media now, needs your players to be world-class from the day they sign. Otherwise, they get cooked on social media. We all know that's how it works. But it takes time to develop. And yes, he's 22, but he's come to the Premier League now at 22 years of age. And he's got to learn a new league. He's got to learn it probably quicker than Ronaldo did. There is a player in there because you see moments from him. Does that make sense? And the fact you're seeing moments and you're getting goals tells you there's a player in there. But I do want more. I want to see some progression from him. And I actually think once he starts trying it and he realizes it isn't as scary as he thought it was going to be, he'll be okay. But
we'll know pretty soon, Terry. We'll know pretty soon. When you think about the talent we have, Rashford, you've got Diallo maybe coming back next season, hopefully.
Oh, and he's been cooking as well.
I like that kid. Garnacho. Obviously, Alanga's in there at the moment. There should be competition for places. I mean, listen, I would prefer the Langa second half on the pitch today.
No, I wouldn't.
I'm not going to
Yes.
lie.
I wouldn't perfectly.